Yo, what is good, y'all? It's your boy BRM. Overtime is out now. Our second joint album, Brody DaVinci and myself. This is the sequel to the first joint album, 20 Seconds. Only God knows what's next. Get it, stream it, let's go. You don't want problems with none of the team. I rap for my vatos. Louisiana, NC, Atlanta up to Chicago. When we pull up, poof in the slide, only my God knows. Yeah, only my
message heavy, don't prime show, they not ready. Race against the time like four wheels and hands ready. Keep it steady, beat it hard and they barely give them ears and hear the truth in the light. Don't confetti, message heavy, don't prime show, they not ready. Race against the time like four wheels and hands ready. Keep it steady, beat it hard and they barely give them ears and hear the truth in the light. Don't confetti, just the flip of the watch, it's game time. Game time, flip of the watch, it's game time. Game vibes, just the flip of the watch, it's game time. Game time, 20, flip of the watch, it's game time. Game time, just the flip of the watch, it's game time. 20, flip of the watch, it's game time. 5 to the flip of the watch, it's game time. 5 to the flip of the watch, it's game time. 520.
What's up and welcome to the 520 Collective podcast. It is the final episode of season 3 and I'm excited, man. We got a lot to talk about. I am Eric Boston. You can check me out on Twitter at EricBoston3. That's at EricBoston, the number 3. But I'm glad you're tuning into the 520 Collective podcast where music meets ministry and the indie artists take center stage. And right now, joining me on the 520 Collective phone line, it's a very special guest host. Nate's taking this episode off, but our guy, Jeremy Fleetwood, Mr. Social Media Extraordinaire, is in the building. What's good, Jeremy?
What's up? What's up? I'm glad to be here. Just doing my little part.
Yeah, man. It's been a minute since you've been on the podcast, but it's fun and exciting to, just have you back on here, man.
Cool. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, dude. And you've been, doing social media with us pretty much from the get-go of this whole thing. And we're going to talk about a little bit how that's going. But you're going to discuss a new role that you're going to be kind of taking over here in 2022. So we're going to hit that in a minute. But before we do, Jeremy, I want to make sure to give a shout out to this episode's sponsor, and that is Nectar Distro. So guys, you're an artist, you need your music in as many places as possible. You know that that's the game, getting yourself out there. Nectar Distro is the solution for you. They're run by the team at Trackstars, which means that you've got industry professionals with connections that you need to take your music to the next level. So not only can they get your music in places like Spotify, Apple Music, man, all the different places you want to be, but they've got special tools as well that's available to Nectar users that can help you in growing your music presence. So make sure you go to 520collective.com/nectar and make sure you sign up, man. It's awesome. $19.99 a year. You cannot beat it. So again, that's 520collective.com/nectar. And man, make sure you're going to 520collective.com on a regular basis. We're constantly putting new content up there with, on the site, whether it is music posts, articles, reviews. We got a lot of great content on there. So make sure you're checking this out, man. And yeah, just go to 520collective.com. You can find all the great podcast episodes. You can check out 520 Radio with our guy DJ Barcode. So yeah, man. Jeremy, let's talk about social media for a minute. First of all, let the people know where we're at on social media and where they can follow us.
Okay, so I'm on Instagram for the most part. So it's 520_CO. Usually 90% I think Nate might do some messaging on there, but it's normally me that you're talking to on there. If you're messaging me, reach out to us.
Yeah, man. We're also on Twitter at 520_co as well. This is the same thing as Instagram. So make sure you're following us. And Jeremy, you do a great job, man. You've been with us pretty much from the beginning. And you've really helped build that social media presence, especially with Instagram. But, dude, we're excited, or hopefully you're excited. I know I'm excited to announce kind of a new role that you're stepping into for 2022, and that is you are going to be our music submissions manager for FiveTwentyCollective.com, man. So whenever people are sending in their music, they want us to look at it, hopefully get it up on the site. You're going to be playing a big role in that in this upcoming year. So how are you feeling about that, man? And why do people need to make sure they are submitting their music at FiveTwentyCollective.com?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Now it's more of a kind of hands-on, talking to the people on, like, when they DM me, and now it's kind of like, now I can see it through type thing, with the submissions and getting more hands-on, so I can, put out more content, more people see the different indie artists that are trying to, get their name out there. And I mean, at this point in 520's current life or whatever, we've gotten a lot of people like looking at us. So I think it's definitely it helps people out that are indie artists.
Yeah, man. Jay Shane, he said in the community room, which, by the way, we are live on our server here on Discord. Shout out to DJ Jay Shane for hanging out with us right now. But Jeremy, man, sounds like he may be a little envious of you. He said that is the dream job, man. That's the dream job. So
yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, maybe he can handle some of it as well, depending on how many submissions get put in.
Man, Shane, he's recruiting. Jeremy's recruiting, man. Jeremy's recruiting, so you need to reach out, I guess. See how that goes. Oh, he says bring it, Jeremy. So we'll see how that goes, man. So, man, Jeremy, before we jump into the primary discussion that we're gonna hit on this episode, I want to make sure to give a shout out to our guy, AKA Fisher. So hopefully you guys have already checked it out. If not, I'm going to tell you about it right now. We actually partnered with AKA Fisher on his newest single, Gervin. So it is a 520 Presents track. It features Zay Hill and Ayo Millie, and it is out now exclusively on the 520 Collective AudioMac account. So that's audiomac.com/520-co. Go on there, check it out. It is a great track. It's the first single from a new project that Fisher is working on that will come out in 2022. So you check it out, man. Jeremy, have you got a chance to listen to Gervin since it dropped on the 7th?
Yes, I have listened to it many times. I mean, anything AKA Fisher puts out, it's top notch. I think that they all went together pretty good, man. It's a good song, and I mean, it's on AudioMac too, so that's kind of a neat deal where you can only listen to it through them.
Right, exactly, man. AudioMac, showing love. I just want to give a shout out to all the people who have rocked with 520 on AudioMac since we joined there back in July. It has been, a great experience, and we're excited to roll into 2022 with that momentum and really grow, what's happening on the platform. It's a lot of the podcast and that content, but we are getting into making sure we put up some more music content that we're doing exclusively through us. So make sure you go on to audiomac.com/520-co and hit that follow button. Cause man, my hope, Jeremy, is that, faith-based hip hop really starts carving out a presence on AudioMac in the coming year, man. I think, they're doing some really cool stuff. And I know, the next podcast episode, we're going to talk about one of their newest features. So we won't dive into that right now. But I will say, man, AudioMac is a place where if you're an artist and you're not taking advantage of it, you need to be. But if nothing else, go on there and listen to the new song Gervin by AKA Fisher, Zay Hill, and Ayo Millie. Those guys, like Jeremy said, did an amazing job with that track. It's got me excited for what's coming next from Fisher. Easily one of the most under the radar artists in this space, man. I'm looking forward to just helping him kind of get, a little bit of that notice that I feel like his skill set deserves, Jeremy.
That's what I was thinking too. He's kind of under the radar, but he's really quality. I mean, quality album he put out. In the ruins of Dreamland, and he's got good stuff.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite records of this past year for sure. And that, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more here in just a minute, because it was actually a nominee for our WAVMaker Awards. And, we're going to talk about the WAVMaker Awards and those couple of different categories that we're going to be highlighting this year. But some people, Jeremy, they may say, hey, what's the WAVMaker Awards? I've never heard of them before. Well, that's because this is the first year that we are doing the WAVMaker Awards. The past 2 years we've had our Rookie of the Year. And we did a little bit of a rebrand with it, Jeremy. Shout out to our past winners on the Rookie of the Year, including Coop and Just Call Me DT. Those guys won that the last couple of years. But, we had some people point out, maybe some of these guys, technically, if you want to split hairs, you wouldn't necessarily call them rookies because they've been making music for a little bit. Whatever. That's fine. So in order to kind of hopefully not cause any confusion, we kind of came together as a team and we talked about it a little bit, and we said, do we need to make a change here? Do we need to, define this a little bit better, right? And we settled on, I believe it was Darius. Shout out to Darius Mullen, who said, man, what if we called it the .WAVMaker? So when you talk about .wave, obviously people, within music understand that a WAV file is a music file. And I was like, dude, that's super cool. Let's run with that. So we decided to change it to the WAVMaker Awards. And not only are we having an Artist of the Year award, kind of building off that Rookie of the Year and what it's done in the past, but we decided to add a second award as well. And that is the Project of the Year. And all this is within the independent, faith-based hip-hop community, right? So, first, Jeremy, let me just ask you this, man. Like, what are your thoughts? How are you feeling about how just kind of this rebrand and this restructure of our awards has been? Like, what has you excited about what we're doing with it?
I mean, I think it was kind of like a time to change because we kept having so many, different, like, are they rookies? We just heard them, but they've had an album out 2 years ago, or they had this, and it was just kind of hard, even us trying to figure out the nominees and stuff like that. So I feel like the WAVMaker Awards, which is a slick name, it's kind of like, it makes it a lot easier kind of for us. And now anyone like that had a good year can get can be nominated instead of just, say only rookies, type thing. So it's exciting, plus the project. So it's kind of opens up more, everyone likes more categories. So it's fun.
Right. Yeah, man. And so on the November episode of the podcast, we announced that we were going to have fan voting that opened up, and that fan vote ran from November 16th through November 30th. And what we did is, as a team, we came up with 10 nominees for each of those categories, and then we left it up to the fans, to the people, to come to FiveTwentyCollective.com and vote on their favorite nominee for those two categories. So, Jeremy, let's do a quick rundown of it, man, because we didn't talk about the actual nominees on the last podcast, but let's talk about who was the nominees, and then we're going to actually announce our 3 finalists for each category here in just a few minutes. So, where do you want to start at, Jeremy? Like, you want to start with the artist nominees?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, man, give us a rundown. Who was our 10 nominees for Artist of the Year?
Okay, so the 10 are Prodigal, Bats, International Show, C4, Crotona, Reese Lachey, Godframe, TC, J Air, Q Flow, and Legacy.
Boom. Man, dude. And there is a lot of crazy talent on that list, man. Like,
huge, yeah.
Jay Shane says, shout out to International Show for sure. For sure. Show is a beast, man. Like so many on that list, dude. Yeah, coming up with these nominees were difficult, dude. I'll just say that. It was difficult. So, all right. So those were our artist nominees. Let's move over to our project of the year nominees. Jeremy, like what projects ended up being our 10 nominees?
Okay. We got Signs by Reese Lachey. Let's see, Glory Up by Hugh Holler. In the Ruins of Dreamland by A.K. Fisher. Leap of Faith by Legacy. Snakeskin Bible cover by C4 Cortana. The Blood Volume 1 by D Black. Both Sides of the Blessing by K-Drama. Rising Sun by Medallions, Growth by TC, and then Crucible Chronicles by Spoken Worth.
Yeah, man. And again, there was a lot of very solid projects that came out in 2021, and narrowing it down to 10, it was a process, man. You know, we were going back and forth in the staff chat, you know, with different options. I don't even know how many, you know, total options we kind of had before we narrowed it down to the 10. But these 10, you know, they were, you know, definitely standouts. I will say, man, if some people feel like, man, how did this one not get on there, or how did this artist not, you know, like I say, it was a debate, and it was a lot of discussion happened. No doubt about it. If projects were submitted to FiveTwentyCollective.com throughout the year, you know, that gave a little bit of an edge, because it was something that we were, you know, was for sure, you know, right in front of us, and we were being able to give a little bit extra attention to that. But man, I don't know, Jeremy, like whenever you saw these lists and we were getting ready to move into having this open fan voting, like what was your just kind of gut feeling about it? Like, did you have an idea of where you thought this would go, or were you like, man, this is going to be tough? Like what was your expectation whenever you saw these lists come out and we got ready to open up the fan vote?
I mean, for me, I'm thankful that the fans voted, because it's just too many. There's no way to narrow it down. I mean, they're just so good. It's very hard to almost like even choose between them, because like especially the albums, all are great albums, and then the artists all had multiple good songs. Like, that's just hard. Like, I'm glad the fans, and they came in droves to vote. I'm glad they sorted it out for us, you know?
Yeah, man, exactly. So let's talk about those results, Jeremy, and I'll go ahead and maybe announce these. Let's talk about who the fans voted on for finalists. So each award has 3 finalists here. Where should we start at, man? Maybe we'll go opposite. Maybe we'll go project first. How you feel about that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, cool. All right, so here are our 3 finalists for the project of the year in the WAVMaker Awards 2021, as voted on by you, the fans. Our first finalist is Crucible Chronicles by Spoken Worth. So, Crucible Chronicles, Spoken Worth. Awesome. Our second finalist is Glory Up by Hugh Holla. And our third finalist is Leap of Faith by Legacy. So there you have it. Crucible Chronicles, Spoken Worth, Glory Up, Hugh Holla, and Leap of Faith by Legacy, as voted on by the fans at FiveTwentyCollective.com. Jeremy, before we move on to the artist finalists, just give me your kind of instant reaction. How you feel about those 3 finalists?
I mean, I'm happy. I mean, it's just so close between the albums. You know, it could have went any different way, but those are 3 great albums. I mean, so I'm glad.
Yeah, man.
I'm happy.
Yeah, and I know we didn't mention this earlier, so I'll mention it right now before we go on to the artist finalists. But when you talk about the voting, there was a lot of votes cast, man, and it's I don't know, make of it what you will. Okay, Jeremy, but to me, it was just crazy. It just seemed like it was right. We actually had 520 votes cast between the November 16th and November 30th. So 520 total votes for the WAVMaker Awards.
Now that can't be a coincidence. What in the world?
Dude, I don't know, man. Like, I went in there and it was time to pull it down, and I looked at it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. Like, how does that even happen? You know, but yeah, man. So shout out to everyone that went to FiveTwentyCollect.com and cast their votes on these awards, man. Definitely, you guys showed out, and we appreciate it. We look forward to it growing next year. We got some stuff in the works. But Jeremy, let's talk about these Artists of the Year nominees and who are our finalists. You ready for that?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So our first finalist is Prodigal. Our second finalist is J-Air. And our third finalist is Legacy. So Prodigal, J-Air, and Legacy as voted on by the fans. Jeremy, you want to weigh in on those finalists?
Hey, once again, I'm glad that they voted, because it could have went any other way. I mean, there's Legacy comes out with the double nomination. That's good, right? And then,
yeah, man.
I mean, Prodigal had a lot of good songs this year. Same with J-Air. He has a bunch of singles. So, I mean, I'm excited for him. That's great.
Yeah, man. J-Air may have challenged Zay Hill for being, one of the busiest men in Christian hip hop this year, man. J-Air dropped a ton of music this year. So, and obviously he got noticed, man. The proof is right there in the votes.
Exactly.
So a big shout out and congratulations to our award finalists again for Artist of the Year. It is Prodigal, J-Air, and Legacy. And our Project of the Year finalists are Crucible Chronicles by Spoken Worth, Glory Up by Hugh Holla, and Leap of Faith by Legacy. So, Jeremy, now comes the question is, how are we going to be announcing the winners of these awards? And we've got something special in the works for you guys. So, again, like we said earlier, we're currently live on our Discord while we're recording the podcast. And shout out to the whole community. Make sure you join the Discord community, guys. Go to FiveTwentyCollect.com, and there is a link on the homepage that you can join the Discord. Or if you go to our Twitter account, and Jeremy, I believe it's on the Instagram account as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. In the little bio, it's the link.
Yeah, so you can go to the bio on Twitter or Instagram and get that link to join the Discord server as well. But here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to be hosting our first ever virtual awards show for the WAVMaker Awards 2021 on January 2nd of 2022. January 2nd, so that's a Sunday night, 8 o'clock Central. And it's going to be the WAVMaker Awards virtual awards show, where hopefully the plan is we have all of our finalists on there with us. Me and Jeremy are going to be co-hosting the awards show, and we're going to be announcing our winners that night, along with a very special guest host. Jeremy, do you want to do the honors, or do you want me to do that?
I mean, I don't care. You can.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll take it. Yeah, man, my brother, my very good friend, Ryan Righteous from Trackstars is going to be joining us as a special guest host of the WAVMaker Awards as well. So I'm excited about it, Jeremy. Like, talk to me, man. When we started kicking around this idea of having a virtual awards show, how are you feeling about it?
I think it's something that's really going to set us apart. Like it's a big event. Ryan Righteous being there. I mean, everyone there. I think it's gonna be real big. I'm excited.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Jay Shane said, come and vibe with us. I think he was referring to the Discord, but come vibe with us at the awards show as well. I'm sure Shane is going to turn out, as well as, like I said, hopefully, the plan is that every finalist will be in the building with us, virtually, and we'll be able to announce our winner, get some reactions, have a little talk with them, and just have a good time for, just a little bit on that Sunday night, January 2nd. So I'm excited, man. And like I was saying earlier, we can't give away too much yet, but the expectation is that the WAVMaker Awards are going to grow, Jeremy, and we've got some stuff cooking already, potentially for next year, to hopefully level that up a little bit. But based off of just what we've seen happen this year with the WAVMaker Awards, man, I'm excited for what it could mean as we continue to develop those awards show, man. I know that, one thing that you hear a lot of people say is they would like to see more awards, more recognition for artists in Christian hip hop. And man, we're just trying to see what we can do to help make that happen a little bit here at 520 Collective, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think, it opens up a lot of things we can do. So I think it'll be good going forward.
100%. So if you want to tune in to the WAVMaker Virtual Awards Show on Sunday, January 2nd, 2022 at 8 p.m. Central, make sure you join the 520 Discord. Again, hosted by Jeremy Fleetwood, myself, and special guest host Ryan Righteous. And we'll be announcing our Artist of the Year and Project of the Year winners. Well, Jeremy, dude, we're hitting that time where we are about ready to listen to this month's featured song. And then after that, we've got, as always, a great interview, man. I'm excited for people to hear this one. Stowe is joining us here to wrap up this season 3 of the podcast. If you guys don't know Stowe, trust me, stick around after the song and after the break. You'll get to know him and you'll see why, if you're plugged into independent hip hop, why you need to know who he is and how you can make sure to follow him. Jeremy, we've got the newest single from our guy Weez the Satellite Kid. He teamed up with Nachaash and produced by Adoe. The song is Motivation, so it dropped a couple of weeks ago. And we will see you guys on January 2nd in the Discord for the WAVMaker Awards. And then we'll kick off season 4 in mid-January of the 520 Collective podcast. So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Satellite Kid, do what the satellite did, you feel me? Yeah. I'm in the business, I give him the business and then get the glory to God. Put in the fitness, this ain't no fit, no capper, we raising the bar. A leader, I'm leader, releasing the legions, if iffy, I'm throwing them off. I read the plan on my heart, I never planned it apart. I'm feeling motivated. Ay. Jump man. I'm trying to motivate them. Jump man. I'm feeling motivated. Ay. Jump man. I try to motivate them.
Okay, get it and go.
Jump man.
We gon' give it and go.
Jump man.
We gon' get it for sure.
Awake and I'm with it, I wait for your wisdom. My mama remind me, be mindful, admitted. My mind on a million, more for my chillin'. I chill with his necklace with baby, I'm building a couple of buildings. Leave a legacy of breaking the ceiling. Discipline is like a product of wisdom. Patience knowing that provision is real. Triple digits when I did to the finish. Never wanna say I could've beginning. Maybe if I would've, okay, forget it. Maybe if I would've, okay, I'm timid. I've been learning, turning faith into fitness. Finesse and favorite fear, got like a penny. Put together like it's got in my pen. Fabric feeling like a furnace, a fitted, a fabulous finish. Fabricated to endure when it did it. I'm pushing through it like my car, I'm lieutenant. I tended to it like my focus and gifting. Spread the presence like the present for a minute. I said it, I meant it. Many wish I wish they did it. I reminded people doubt till they mimic. Think I miss it, but I catch like a mitten. I'ma do it like the homie is spitting. Smile at him like it ain't nothing missing. My plan is planted and I don't plan on missing. I'm steady handed like I'm circuitry fixing. Pursue the passion and I pray to get it. Understand many won't get the vision. Understand that it may cause a vision, but understand to continue the mission. It's Weez.
I'm feeling motivated. Bulls out of mark like Copenhagen. Walk in his shoe, check the procreation. Built up his trust by association. Put in the work, no corporation. The last should be first, watch the torch I'm taking. Blazing the trail so the fork can make it look great as he, boy, you're more than basic. Out of your lawns come forth the nation. Prayers get answered, it just takes some patience. Christ is the CEO, the one in EO. For you can go and face the matrix. Trapped amazing, back to saving activists through activation. Captures made me captivating. Cards I'm raising, poker faces, scars abrasions on occasion. Look, that's what made me, that's what save me. Kingdom paid me, think I'm crazy. Yo, got the light, that's why you shady. Know you copy, always Tracy, so McGrady. Yo, I pick up the code, turn it to gold. I veer to the left, but still on the road. I'm bought with a price, they selling my soul. No, ain't selling my soul. Change your mindset, it ain't that complex. In him you find rest, eternal sign checks. He open the lanes up so you won't find wrecks. Got the most high, don't need no Pyrex. I clear the iris, connected wireless. What I've been through made me fall from novice.
I'm in the business, I give him the business and then get the glory to God. Put in the fitness, this ain't no fit, no cap, we raising the bar. A leader, I'm leader, releasing allegiance. If iffy, I'm throwing them off. I read the plan on my heart, I never planned it apart. I'm feeling motivated.
Hey,
Jump man,
jump man,
jump man,
jump man.
I'm trying to motivate him.
Okay, get it and go.
Jump man,
We gon' give it and go.
jump man,
We gon' get it for sure.
I'm feeling motivated.
Empty, but Mr. Blessing everybody I offended off my friends list. Peace and my blessings.
What's going on, family? This is AKA Fisher of TentMaker Music, and I'm here to let you know, if I haven't already, about this brand new song called Gervin by Zay Hill, A.O. Millie, and myself. This track is a special collaboration with FiveTwenty Collective, and for a limited time, Gervin will be available exclusively through FiveTwenty Collective. You can listen to the full song right now on AudioMac. Check it out on FiveTwentyCollective.com.
Spirit going hard at Holy Ghost. Iceman flow, we gon' roll with it.
Welcome to this month's Industry Insider interview, brought to you officially by Bookkeeper247.com. What's up, and welcome to another Industry Insider interview here on the FiveTwenty Collective podcast. As always, we are being sponsored by the Bookkeeper 24/7. Check them out at tbk247.com, where they are changing the culture for God. Guys, if you are looking for a great just platform where they are giving you consistently updated, consistently high quality news of what's happening within the Christian hip hop space, the Bookkeeper 24/7 does that for you. So check them out again. It's tbk247.com. And joining me right now on the FiveTwenty Collective phone line, he is an artist consultant that focuses on marketing and development. He is also a best-selling author of the Boom Bap Review, along with a myriad of other things that we can get into as we're going. I'm excited to have him here on the show. It is Stowe. What is good, man?
How's it going, everyone? Eric, I appreciate you for having me on. I hope you all have your website. All right, before we even get started, I hope you all have your website. But no, honestly, I appreciate you for having me on.
Well, man, that's what we gotta say, man. Because, anyone that follows you knows that Stowe is the website guy. But honestly, if you don't have a website, go get it, right? I mean, it's almost 2022.
Right. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. Well, you tell me, man, because, obviously here at FiveTwenty Collective, we interact and we focus on those indie artists, and we're talking to guys who are just getting started. A lot of them are like, I don't even know. Where do I go? I just want to make music, right? But, I mean, one of the easiest first steps is that website. Why do you feel like so many people are missing it?
Honestly, I don't blame. I used to blame the artists back in the day and stuff like that. Like, what's going on? Like, how do you not have a website? Why is there so much pushback? But if you look at the landscape these days, it's not surprising. You have social media, which a lot of artists and creatives, and it's not just artists, it's creatives as well, that believe that social media is a substitute for that. And, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. I'm about to hit the 10K mark here, hopefully before year's end. But you still got to have a website, literally just based on how the algorithms work. So a lot of artists, again, they believe that, well, as long as I go viral on social media, or if I have a lot of followers, or if I get a lot of likes, boom, I'll blow up, I'll make a lot of money. There we go. But it almost never works like that. You can ask any artist. And that's not to say that virality doesn't help. That's not to say that virality doesn't exist. But to depend on that virality to make a profit, to support your family, even as I say that out loud, it makes no sense.
Right, exactly. And like you said, I mean, you're talking about, you're putting your content, you're pouring it into something that you don't own and you don't control in the end, right? And we can definitely talk about it on the music side stuff. We can get into that a little bit later because it all ties in. But the problem is people aren't seeing it, and that's weird to me.
It makes sense in the extent that, like think about it. When a lot of us start our day, a lot of us honestly start our day on social media. You know what I mean? And end our day with social media. And when you take a look at, again, how companies, again, because it's companies running these platforms, people, it's not honest to goodness independent musicians that want to see us all succeed. No, that's not who's running those platforms. It's capitalists and corporations who have their own agendas. We're not a part of that agenda. I guarantee you that. So when looking at, when looking at the surface level stuff, right? If we see Kendrick Lamar, get all these retweets and all these likes and get all this coverage, some artists take that to be like, oh man, if Kendrick can do it, so can I. It's the same with the surprise album phenomenon. You've seen, I've seen, or maybe we've seen, so many people be like, I'm just going to drop an album on them. I saw Beyonce do it. I saw Drake do it. I'm going to do it. It's like, well, wait a minute. Beyonce and Drake both have millions of literal dollars behind their name. And they could literally sneeze on the track for 30 seconds and people will give them millions of dollars. The majority of us, myself included, I want to be clear, myself included, I'm not trying to be above anybody. We can't do that. We're just Joe Schmo. No one cares. You know what I'm saying? So we have to focus on the people that do care, focus on the people that are paying attention to the things that we're doing. Trying to expect virality, especially through social media, you rarely get the results that you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. And man, I knew that you were connected to, the CHH world. I didn't realize how far though, man, or how much you were connected to it. Like how did you get into just Christian hip hop?
Yeah, my cousin Arlen, shouts out to him when I was at 8th grade, maybe 7th grade. He gave me 3 CDs. He gave me Sivion's Spring of the Songbird, Surreal and DJ Balance's Future Classic, and Braille's Shades of Grey. Yeah, all 3 of those records are classics to me. They completely changed my life in terms of just how I listen to hip hop and how I listen to music. And at the time, I was like, dang, how come no one's really covering this? And how come no one's really talking about it? And so, again, I started that blog for that. And like I said, there's got to be over 50 to 100 reviews on that site alone. There's at least 35 plus podcast episodes of me just covering some of the music. And I'm very blessed to be connected to some of those cats now. I've met some of them now. And yeah, from there, I went to college, I kept writing. Again, I wrote for people who have written for Hip Hop DX. I wrote for Rapzilla for a little bit. Moved on to Dead End Hip Hop. Did my thing over there. I've written for a bunch of places at this point. Just making sure that I keep the culture of hip hop a lot outside of the usual mainstream stuff. There's so much good music and classics, in and outside Christian hip hop, that I feel just get underlooked time and time again. So making sure that they're getting covered it's extremely important to me.
Man, you mentioned Deep Space 5, man, and that's like my happy place right there, is throwing on a TS5 album, and there is definitely talent in this space, man. So I'm glad, whenever we have people like you helping to just share that, with others. That another thing that you push, which is obviously very important, and I want to dive into a little bit, is, finding your audience, right? Finding your target audience. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and obviously I don't want to get all your secrets or anything, man, but whatever we can talk about, because I want people reaching out to you, right, and seeking you for this advice and this support. But like, what's the place that you would start at, as far as like, you know, how do I even start thinking about what my audience looks like?
Right, absolutely. You know, I genuinely think part of it is just slowing the train down for just a second. And, you know, I get artists all the time. I want to drop this. I want to drop that. I want to drop this. I want to do that. It's like that. Like, I love the energy. But here's the thing, is that 9 times out of 10, the artist or creative is seeking something, whether it's attention, whether it's blog coverage, whether it's playlist placement, whether it's money. They're looking for something. But some of those same artists have absolutely no clue who they're pitching to. So when we talk about this logically, and just from like even a statistical standpoint, it's just like, okay, you don't know who you're pitching to, but you want to go viral, you want to blow up, you want to make all this money, you want all these fans and all this stuff. That doesn't even add up. If you're trying to be an artist as your career, we have to think about it as a career. You're a business, and that's not saying, you know, in the capitalist sense, but it's in the sense of looking for a profit, and you don't have the supporters that you're looking for. So when it comes to finding your target audience, really sit down and think, okay, who am I trying to make music for? And again, and I talk about this with artists all the time, because so many artists ask me this question: how do I find my target audience? How do I find my target audience? And I'm like, yo, that's almost impossible for me to do in the DMs. That's almost impossible for me to do over Twitter, because you really have to sit down and think about who you specifically are trying to pitch to. And especially, you know, obviously in the DMs and stuff like that, I don't know you at this current point. So I don't know what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. It's every single artist's target audience is different. You may have similar sounds, you may do, you know, X, Y, Z, but every artist has different goals. Every artist is trying to pitch to somebody different. So what I say is always slow down and really think about, you know, if you're on stage right now, what does your crowd look like? Now, obviously, right, the answer, I get this answer all the time, well, you know, it could be anybody. No, that's not how it works, right? Like, think about anything in the consumer space or art or whatever. Everybody is not going to be a fan. There are going to be people that don't like your music. There are going to be people that love your music. So saying, oh, the crowd would just be anybody, doesn't make sense. So really slow down and think about, okay, who am I making music for? Who are the type of people that I can imagine listening to my music? And obviously, right, that's just scratching the surface. But from there, it's really about making content for those people. So it takes time to get to that point. But to get back on track, it's again, figuring out who you are trying to appeal to. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you look at, I like using Deep Space 5 as an example, because as a collective, their target audience, obviously, you know, when you know, not considering the Christian market, is they're trying to get to the people that were into the group dynamic, that were into the Wu-Tang clans and stuff like that. Because I remember reading so many articles back in the day. It was like, well, there's a Deep Space 5, there's a Christian Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? And they, you know, whether they knew it or not, you know, there were like 7, 8 guys deep. So hip-hop heads that miss that group dynamic automatically, in or outside Christian hip-hop, would tune in and be like, yo, these dudes are nuts. But then, right, if you take each member of the group, they're literally just very distinct individuals, right? Like if you take Plato, or, well, Crumb and Seth Static, they're 2 completely different artists, right? If you take the Listener and you take Sivion, 2 completely different artists. And their distinct target audiences would be massively different, obviously, if you take out the whole Deep Space 5 affiliation. So kind of think of it like that, is that everybody has their distinct audience. You've got to really think about who's mine and who am I really trying to attract. not just who I imagine listening to, but who am I trying to attract to the music.
Now, one thing that you mentioned, man, that I want to kind of just circle back to a little bit, and what I'll say to preface this is, don't overlook the people that are willing to try to help you get there either, right? Like, one thing that I've heard some people say is, man, we don't need blogs and we don't need websites anymore. You know, that's a thing of the past. But you mentioned it. You said, are you trying to get on there? I think that that's something that's getting overlooked. We're like, everyone's just thinking, I just gotta get a viral TikTok and I'm good or whatever. And it's like, man, you know, blogs, websites, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, we may play a different role now, but there's still something that we can offer.
Absolutely. So first, I want to go back to your first comment because, listen, I'll be the first person to be like, as an artist, your focus shouldn't be on the blogs and publications. But when I say that, I mean that from like a higher tier level, because I feel like artists are like, oh, I want to be on Complex. Oh, I want to be on the Fader. But here's the thing, and you already mentioned this a little bit, is that these, and maybe not the mainstream ones or whatever, but it's the publications, and the media platforms such as the FiveTwenty Collective, such as all these other podcasts and, underground independent publications and blogs that are doing good work that you should be, maybe not necessarily like, obsessed with, but you guys are willing to give more music a chance before Complex does. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's so important, because it's not just about the clout. It's not just about, oh, how many followers does such and such publication. It's about the energy that comes with it. The energy that you guys give to artists is worth so much more than some of the energy that some of these cats be chasing after, because you guys will give them a good quote because you genuinely like the music. You know what I mean? And it's so important that we lift up blogs, publications, podcasts, and coverage that is doing the genuine work and that do care about the artist, because it may be in rare form, but they're out there, and they're usually more apt and willing to give energy versus some of these other places. In terms of the role in finding your target audience and other platforms and stuff like that, I think it really comes down to, number one, kind of doing research and understanding like what platforms do what. Find a publication that fits what you're looking for. That's what you're supposed to go for. I feel like a lot of artists are just forcing themselves, trying to get on platforms that just have, quote, big numbers and, maybe I'll go viral on this platform or whatever. But you want people, again, like you guys and like some of these other independent publications that are willing to sit down and listen to the music and give the energy needed. You know what I mean? A lot of these, or some of the bigger industry places, they don't care about the art form. They don't care about the culture per se. They're just trying to get a check. Focus on the people that are giving you energy, that genuinely want to see independent music and art and artists push the needle forward.
Again, joining me on the FiveTwenty Collective podcast phone line, it is Stowe. Man, before we move on, you mentioned taste creators, and I want to make sure to give it it's due process here, man. Like, give us just a quick rundown. Tell people about taste creators and all the important information there, like where to find it and how to get connected.
Yeah, absolutely. At Taste Creators, we're based out of Philadelphia. I am based out of Ohio, but we have people all over the world. LA, Atlanta, we got people in Paris. We're worldwide, for real. And our whole job really is to, again, just help creators get their bag their way. As I'm sure, with you dealing with so much in the industry as well, is that, a lot of artists have this perception like, I just got to land on a playlist, or I just got to land on a blog, or I just got to go viral by spamming literally every verified account I could possibly find. We're here to tell you there's a way easier way to make that happen if you just trust yourself and lean more into what you're already doing, and again, just kind of tweaking some things. Again, like I mentioned earlier, 9 times out of 10, the music is already there. You know, it's rare that I run into an artist's music and I'm just like, oh Lord, like this is not good. Like, please stop. 9 times out of 10, I'm like, okay, the music is there, but we got to work on your branding. We got to work on your business pitch. We got to work on your promotion and all this stuff. And so that's what we really do at Taste Creators. We help you really develop a strategy for not just album rollouts, but non-album season content. It's so important. And really learning how to build up your fan base and cultivate it to a point where, you know, it's not you begging people to listen to music. It's them begging you, yo, where's the music? Because once you have that, you know you've got a bag incoming. That's really where our focus lies. We've done a ton of stuff between A3C. We did A3C, I think, 3 years in a row, I believe. You know, worked with some incredible names between Casey Veggies, Pat Jr., Fire the Siren. Obviously, I've worked with Crumb, There He Has It, Bronze Nazareth, Rock Marciano. You know, the list goes on and on. So, you know, we, between mainstream acts, underground acts, independent acts, we've worked with the whole spectrum.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. And man, I'll tell you what, it's seeing, you know, someone like yourself doing those kinds of things, man, that's inspiring for what we try to do here at FiveTwenty. Like, you know, again, big shout out to you just for, you know, being an inspiration to keep moving forward, because it's not always easy every day, you know?
Right. Well, and listen, shout out to you, honestly, because I'm a little late to the train. I ain't even gonna front on that, but the thing is that, you know, with you all being independent and whatnot, like, again, I'm gonna be real. I got on Rapzilla by accident, and that was probably because at the time I was in college. But because before that, like, it was, you know, solo dolo. I was just vlogging on my own, not getting paid. Like, no one was sliding me nothing. And I was just writing because I just wanted to see the culture do well. And then you guys have that same energy. And what I appreciate about what you do is that, I'm going to put this as lightly as possible. You know how the Christian hip hop space can be. And just even bringing up a Griselda or a Rock Marciano is like, whoa, what are you doing? Don't do that. Don't bring up those names. Those are bad names in the Christian hip hop space. Don't say that. And that's how it used to be anyway. And so I appreciate you for being open, I guess, and not, you know, as closed-minded as I feel sometimes parts of the industry, especially the Christian hip-hop industry, can be sometimes. So I appreciate that.
100%. And man, I would be remiss if we did not talk about the Boom Bap Review, man. And here you are, you're getting ready to do what, Volume 3, right?
Yes, the trilogy is almost complete. I personally just wrapped up my 10-year anniversary review of Roots Undone record, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, shouts out to MC Till, Adam Hayden. You know, what is this? This was almost 5 years ago, I think. You know, Brothers was struggling. I was working at Kroger at the time. Really just like trying to figure out what to do. I had been writing for over a decade at that point, or close to a decade at that point. And you know, we went to an Indian restaurant, got some. I get what I always get now: some chicken, some rice, and we just talked about really starting a label. But doing it right, doing it the right way. We're not here to take advantage of anybody or take advantage of artists, but we also wanted to take that next step and create community. And also kind of immortalize hip-hop. If you take a look at a lot of the publications that are around, at least at the top, you know, a lot of independent and underground and, you know, don't even get me started on Christian hip-hop can be kind of disrespected. And just forgotten about and left out of coverage and all this stuff. So we really wanted to do something that would, you know, solidify that. And, you know, even for myself, you know, I do one day have visions of the Boom Bap Review or whatever being in a library, you know, years down the line. And it's impossible. It is impossible to cover everything that comes out, but even if we can just get 100 releases in a book every year, you know, hopefully someone down the line will be like, dang, I didn't realize Crumb and 30 Hazard dropped a collab album in 2019. Like, we're so far ahead now. Like, Deep Space 5 is now Deep Space 12 or something like that. Like, who knows? But we really wanted to capture these years, and I can't even front. I'm mad about how low my contribution was last year, just because of the pandemic. So much good music came out, but this year we're all coming together. We have a really special book coming together, and I'm excited to share it. It's crazy to have 3 of them out in the wild, and again, just covering some of the best independent and underground hip hop that we've seen. It's a blessing. I never in my wildest dreams, I always wanted to be an author. I'm not even going to front on that, but I never thought I would have 3 books out before the age of 31. I really didn't.
That's amazing, man, for real. And so if you're talking about a target audience for your book, man, like who's the people that need to go out, and if they haven't got it, make sure they pick it up, and where do they get it?
Word, yeah. If they're hip hop fans in general, and it's the wide spectrum. There's this weird kind of, I feel like, stereotype or stigma that, like, only old people like underground hip hop and stuff like that. And it's like, wait a minute, I was like 14 when I listened to Sivion and Deep Space 5 and stuff like that. And now here I am 17 years later. Did I do that math right? I think I did. 17 years later, still literally shaking hands with them and talking to them and stuff like that. And, there's kids now that are younger than us that are going to hear this music and see these books and all this jazz. So, if you make good hip hop, because here's the thing, we say boom bap review, sure, but we're very we just want to cover good independent and underground music. So that's really what it is. BoomBapReview.com. Check it out. We're very thankful, to even be able to do this. The 3rd book is going to be crazy. I'm very excited to talk to everyone about some of these records. And again, I'm now covering 10-year anniversary records of stuff I covered for the first time in college as an up-and-coming journalist. So it's just this weird kind of like, oh man, I'm back in my dorm at Ohio University, sweating because they don't have no AC, but I'm banging some roots, so it's all good.
That's what's up, man. And I know that if nothing else, if people follow you, you're going to be giving that info out as stuff happens, and just they need to know, just what's going on with you in general, man. So where are they going to do that at?
Yeah, absolutely. Yo, follow me on Twitter at Big Stowe. That's usually where I'm the most active. Follow me on Instagram, Stowe the Last. Now listen, I want to make sure I get this because I mentioned this earlier about taking steps. This is a perfect example. I am not perfect either. I'm still working on being consistent on Instagram. It's one of the easiest things to do, but I'm so lazy with it that I sometimes struggle with it. So bear with me if you don't see consistent posting, but I'm working on it. I just posted today, actually. So that's still the last. And then, honestly, if you're really trying to be A1, here's a little playlist opportunity for you, because I have a newsletter over at bigstowe.substack. That's substack.com. I have a newsletter there. I think we just passed 250 subscribers. There's a free playlist opportunity if you do your research and you look up and find it. It's pretty obvious. Just going to ask for a little information in terms of what song you're submitting, but there's a free playlist opportunity in there. Definitely subscribe there as well.
Yes, sir. And guys, I know I've said it, but I'm going to repeat it. One of my favorite follows on Twitter, this man right here, he said it, Big Stowe on Twitter. So make sure you go and follow him if you're not, because you're missing out. I'm just going to leave it at that. So, man, Stowe, dude, I love it, man. I feel like there's so many more things that we could talk about. So we'll just say maybe we get you back on the show in the not too distant future. How about that?
Oh, absolutely. Let's definitely do it. I would love to do a part 2 because I feel like I ranted so much. I didn't talk this out of an hour, but
no, I love the ranting. I love it, man. That's what we're here for.
I sincerely appreciate you for having me on. It's I've been on a couple podcasts, but it's very rare that I actually get asked to do these, so I sincerely appreciate you for bringing me on, and for letting me rant and actually, asking about my history and stuff like that. It genuinely means more than you know.
Oh, we'll do it again soon, sir. I promise. So, guys, again, that was Stowe joining me on the 520 Collective podcast phone line. Make sure you go check him out. Support what they've got going. Pick up your copy of the Boom Bap Review. And make sure you go check out this month's episode sponsors, including the Bookkeeper 24/7 at tbk247.com now. And we will check you guys out on the next podcast episode.